Yes, that's right, it's Joe here for Joyrider TV. I'm on board a 2001 Hobie Tiger Catamaran, and I'm gonna see, is it possible to sail this bad boy with no rudders? Yeah, it's blowing probably above 20 knots at the moment. I'm on my own, so I'm simulating I've lost my crew and I've lost my rudders. All right, we've now got no rudders. Just gonna chuck the tiller extension off the back just as a sign of intent. Now there is a boat coming straight towards us. So I'm just easing sheet off. Hopefully she'll bear away a bit. Okay, but we are going along and I have got a bit of control over the course. So at the moment we're kind of going upwind. Yes, I'm not using the jib at all because the way it seems is that there's enough windage on the bow of the boat to take her off the wind, and then I can just use the main sheet to head up. So it's kind of like I've got a sheet in to head up, but sheeting in makes us lift the hull. Crikey. All right, this is sketchy actually. All right. I think maybe I've got to get out on the trapeze. All right, wish me luck. All right, we're gonna have to rely on telemetry overlay for the stats. Okay, we're much more into the wind now. In fact, we're so much into the wind, I'm now not catching the wind on the side of the bow anymore. So I'm gonna sheet out the main quite a lot. I'll get to the back, that should make us bear away. But we are amongst the windsurfers now. So to get downwind, what I'm actually gonna do is go backwards. So gonna bring the main sheet in tight to get us into the wind. And then all right, I'm just under the banner of saving the tiller extension. If you're going off the back, if you're going backwards, have the tiller extension on the boat. That's what they said. All right, so bringing her up into the wind, and now still got the main sheet. I'm going forwards. I'm going to go right to the front. All right, so yeah, so this is actually pretty cool. Pretty casual sailing, just on the bow, going backwards. We're not quite head to wind. In fact, the mainsail's going to catch. I'm hoping that's just going to put us back up into the wind. But by standing on the bow, we're kind of using the long knife-like bows as rudders effectively. So we are still making a bit of way backwards. Got the trapeze wire for a bit of stability, but we need to go into the wind a bit better if we're going to make any decent backwards progress. So I'm going to get onto the boat. I'm actually going to go around the front of the mast, and I'm going to get on the other bow, see if that brings it round a bit. Certainly feels a bit less precarious. Oh yeah, that's bringing it round nicely. And in fact, I could just sit here, and there we are, going downwind quite nicely. So if you've got to go downwind without any rudders, that's the easy bit. Just get to the bows of the boat, make sure the boat is head to wind first, and then you'll progress quite nicely downwind. If at any point you need to get the boat more into the wind, in fact we should probably demonstrate this, then we're just going to have to get hold of the main sheet. So I'm going back to the cockpit, grabbing the main sheet, and I'm actually going to come up onto the front beam, so I'm fairly close to my backward sailing spot. Oh, in fact, with the main sheet in, wow, we are cooking on gas here. Crikey, This is actually quite alarming how quickly we're going backwards. Now we're starting to turn again. Oof. So I'm going to go round the front of the mast onto what is now the windward side. I'm keeping hold of the main sheet. Yes, this is a bit precarious, but if you're in a situation when this was really happening, this is what you'd have to do to get downwind. No rudders, sails up. Of course, you could just drop the mainsail and go on the jib, but if you go forwards, you've got just as little steering as if you're going backwards. So, now the problem is we have got a bit of rudder, which means occasionally they're digging in. And steering the boat a bit. Okay, this is pretty sketchy. Time to start going forwards again. So I'm going to get back in the cockpit, as I'm calling it. And to bear away, what also helps is to get to the back of the boat. That means you're presenting more bow to the wind, which means more bow to the wind means the wind's going to catch it more, like just then, and that's going to send the front of the boat off the wind. All right, I'm ready to trapeze. I've got the dagger boards halfway up, just because that's taking a bit of pressure off. Okay, so I'm just feathering the main sheet to keep us going upwind. And in fact, she wants to go upwind a bit too much. So I'm just going to let the traveller out a little bit, main sheet out a bit more. Maybe I'll even go a bit further back. Yeah, we're not going fast, but oh gosh, we're picking up a bit of speed there. So I'll get the traveller back in. All right, I need to trapeze because I need to sheet in. Rudderless trapezing, who'd have thought it? All right. Yeah, so if she starts bearing off, which in this wind does, it's quite a unnerving feeling, I could tell you for free, then we've really got to get out on the trapeze. Okay, I think it's time to go for the tack. Now with no jib, this is going to be tricky, but we're going to go for it. So what I'm going to do, sheet in the main. When it's head to wind, I'm going to go to the back on the new windward side. Well, what I hope it's going to be for new windward side. Okay, so we're going up into the wind. Now we want it right up into the wind. And in fact, maybe we have to, I'm kind of learning by doing here a little bit. Oh yes, she's going round. So I'm going to get onto the back on the new windward side, sheeting out. Yes, it's going round. We have tacked, ladies and gentlemen. If you're as excited as I'm about that, that means that we're on the same page. Now this trapeze isn't set up quite right. Just gonna lock that off there. And we're actually sitting here quite nicely. I haven't pulled the downhaul on. That's the other thing I have failed to mention so far, just because I don't want the mainsail flogging at all, because that's going to suck the fun right out of it. So I'm going to the back to bear away, travelling out a little bit to help her bear away. So I've got the main sheet, the traveller. Everything I'm doing is trying to get the boat to bear away. So main sheet is loose, traveller is out. I think when the wind catches the bow, she's going to bear away pretty fast, which is fun. Just got to give it time. And because there's such a lot of wind, it's going to happen. Just going to try to sheet in a bit, see what happens. Yeah, as we thought, she just heads up into the wind there a bit. All right, she's bearing away. She was going much better actually on the other tack. Don't know quite why that is. All All right, but we are making some sort of forward progress, albeit not very fashionable or quick, but we are going. Of course, if we had a jib and a crew, we could use the jib to get us off the wind. But I think in the sort of ultimate scenario that we're kind of doing here, no crew, no jib. That's the game that we're playing. So I'm just bearing away very slowly. Yeah, she wants to go. Yeah, the bow is, oh yeah, main out completely, that's better. All right, I have just seen that the ferry is leaving. So I think, can we call that, let's do another tack, get out of the way of the ferry and continue. Let's call it that. So here we go, we're head to wind. And she's going through somehow. Don't know why or how she's going through, but I think it's because she knows that she wants to. She knows that's her happy place. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, again, she's going much better on this tack. It might be just the fact, to be honest, that the rudders, because we've still got rudders but they're up, they are catching a little bit when we sit towards the back, which might make this a little bit like cheating, and it might have actually meant on the other tack the rudders were catching and pushing us back up. Maybe. So we're a little bit inconclusive here, but because it's so windy, I didn't actually want to take the rudders off the boat. I think they might come in handy later on. Okay, hooking onto the trapeze. I'm just going to continue on this course because what we don't want to do is be anywhere near to the ferry that's coming out with no rudders. That would be more dangerous than what we're doing already. Okay. Whew. This technique with the mainsail and the traveller, this is going to help if you have got half your rudders in the water. So if you're having to sail out because it's really shallow, then if the boat keeps wanting to head up into the wind, let the traveller out, let the main sheet out, and she's going to bear away more. That's pretty much it. Big gust coming, a little bit scared. Going to travel in just so we can keep her fairly close to the wind. Might have to trapeze if, yeah. It's that sort of weird situation of boat wants to bear away, we have to sheet in to stop it from bearing away, but as we sheet in we fly the hull, so we have to get out on the trapeze. All right, I think with the jib trying to unroll itself, that is where we're going to call it a day there. Thanks for watching. Crikey.